All right, bet. Live? Word. What's going on, my guy? How you been?
Good, dude. I'm chilling. How about you?
Listen, I'm sitting pretty right now. The market's up what, like
Oh, the
1,200
market's up
points?
so fat today, dude. I'm up so much money today. I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous.
I guess people like Biden, I really thought that the
Yeah.
market was going to crumble under his presidency, but
Well, dude, there's a vaccine announcement.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
which
going
I
to
mean,
say
that's got to
too.
be what it is, right? Because all the financials are up. Pfizer was up big when they announced it. Yeah, so
That
it's
it's going to be up, or it's effective up to 90%. That's what they're saying.
yeah, that's what I heard as well. So I mean, fingers crossed because I can't wait to get back to live events, all that stuff.
I feel you, dude. I've been trying to, go out as much as possible. Like you probably saw my IG stories. I was in
Yeah,
Daytona
facts.
Beach
Oh,
last
that
week.
was sick. Actually, that's pretty dope.
No one gave a fuck. No one was wearing a mask. No one was doing
Yeah,
anything.
not down there, not down
Yeah.
south. Yeah,
It's so funny, dude, because I have this client who I just signed today where they're a gym in Dallas. So as you can
yeah,
expect, same thing, same proto. They don't wear any masks, no bullshit. They're like, and the guy had like a real southern accent too. He's like, well, all these goddamn liberals, man, they're just, they don't believe in science. Like I got the real science, man, and we're not wearing masks over here. I'm like, all right, man, great, give me your money. So I
yeah,
get it out of
yeah. Thanks, bro.
yeah, right. Oh shit, man. That's great though. Yeah, God bless it. But dude, I've been seeing you on IG lately, and I first saw, I think you doing RGP like what, a couple months ago or something like that. And for the people who don't know the Regrowth project, you go out to all of these, valleys,
Local
national parks,
parks. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and you go collect trash.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess how that started was over the summer, different summer this year, obviously, in a lot of ways. So, I spent a lot of time biking around with my buddies on these local trails, and you always find trash. And it's like, dude, we're hanging out here every day, and these places are always trash. Like, what's good with that? I've always liked the environment. I've always thought if someone could find a way to clean the environment and make some money off of it, you could have a really sustainable long-term model that would do a lot of good in the environmental space. So started working at Aflac, didn't like it, stopped that, and I went straight after RGP. So right now we just clean bags. I got a podcast coming, some other stuff coming for the monetary side. We make dice out of recycled plastics, but it's about the mission. It's about keeping our natural spots clean because everyone likes nature.
Right. You make dice out of recycled plastics? How's that work?
Yeah. Yo, it's kind of sick actually. So you got I don't know if you're filming the screen, but all these
Yeah.
bottle caps, like a Coca-Cola bottle cap maybe, you
Right.
can put it in like a toaster oven at about 450, maybe a little bit less than 450, and it
Hmm.
melts down into a chewing gum like state. And then you can put it into a mold. We have a mold that you could, it looks like a dice mold. Um, so you do that, you sand it down, and then you drill some holes in it, and you got dice. But there's a lot of other possibilities there. There's like, I'm thinking coasters. I mean, this plastic is pretty much indestructible, which is why it's a problem in an environmental sense. But it's really durable stuff and waterproof. So there's a lot of options there. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, you could do anything with that. My little brother Ryan was telling me, who works in the waste management,
Oh yeah,
industry, and he was saying that there's an unfathomable amount of tires out there where like no
yes.
one knows what to do. If you have a
I
solution
saw him
to
like 20
tires, you're
minutes
gonna
ago.
be a billionaire.
Yeah, no, no, like he's right. I mean, there are ways. There are facilities that recycle tires. I don't know that it would be the most efficient business model on earth to go out into all these parks and recover tires just to drive them. It might be from where I am like an hour plus away to get to this facility.
Just for a tire.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always thinking, how can I recycle this stuff? But some of it
Right.
is easy, like the dice. Other stuff is like, well, what the hell is this?
Right. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I listen, man. I've been like I said, I've been following it for a couple months now, and I think it's great. A lot of people really should consider doing, not like make the podcast, make a whole Instagram page, but just be a good
Yeah,
person. Pick up, just like the golden rule. Be treated how you want to be treated, and that goes for the environment too.
exactly,
If you want to go to a national park with the wifey and bird watch or whatever you're going to do, then
exactly.
you expect to have a clean clean place.
I
That's
mean,
it.
humans are a part of nature. Obviously, that's where we came from originally. I know that just spending time outside puts me in a good mood, makes me feel good. You kind of breaking a little sweat, and like we gotta do our best to preserve these environments. And that's exactly what you said. Like, obviously, I'm doing this as a job, so I'm doing it full time. I'm putting out content. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done, a lot of bags picked up. But if you're outside, you today could probably walk outside and see a Poland Springs water bottle on the ground. And if everyone just sees that, picks it up, puts it in the trash can, that is all the difference that needs to be made is little habits because people are busy and they have their own lives. You can't be worrying about this stuff all the time. Every little decision you make can help the environment. But you can pick up trash. Anyone can pick up trash. So, I mean, that's kind of the idea behind it, I guess.
I feel bad because, like, dude, when we were seniors last year, like, I'd be going to Canyon. For the people to know, we went to Penn State
Yeah.
together, and Canyon Pizza is like one of the best. And you have, what was the calzone place? I forget.
Oh, DP though?
DP dough, yeah. And I just
Yeah.
have like I get 3 of those things. It's like, God, fuck it, I throw it on the street and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Oh, well, dude, back in my younger days, you got to pay it back now.
yeah, right. That's so true.
Hey, but it's not like Beaver Ave where Canyons. What is that? Beaver? That was, yeah, not college. But
Yeah,
that's not a natural spot. That's a street. Someone comes picks that up. People don't go out to the parks and pick that up.
that's true.
Animals try to live out there. They're not living under the pavement.
That's a good point. Yeah. So talk to me about politics because I know Biden just won, over the weekend. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I lean a little more right and I voted for Trump, but I think Biden and a lot of people are really happy that he won, including myself, because not only for the stock market, but I just there's a good vibe. There's a really good vibe of people who are just like,
People
okay,
are at
like,
ease.
yeah, they're just at ease. They're like, okay, we have someone at the helm now who is, I'm not saying Biden, is the most coherent person in the world, but he is a good face of America for what we need right now. And that really, translates to not only the economy and, foreign affairs, but also the environment too. I think he's got a better plan than Trump in that aspect. And I definitely think that we could really capitalize on a lot of good stuff, man. So like, I don't know, like what are you hearing out of the environmental world of like plans to really just bolster our economy to the best of our ability?
So, well, I guess that's a typical. So there's a lot of things I want to say related to that. I tend to also lean a little more right in a lot of senses. But I voted for Biden. I'm happy Biden won. People are just at ease. I feel like everyone is in a more relaxed state.
Hmm.
And my biggest problem with Trump is like he could do anything on any given day. I don't know that I like that. I don't want to be always thinking what crazy news story is coming next. Uh, so I do think Biden's gonna be better for the markets in that way. He's gonna be probably better for the environment. That was also one of my main problems with Trump is like, I see the other day that he opens up this pristine temperate rainforest in, I think it was Alaska or maybe
Yeah.
the Pacific Northwest
Yeah.
to like, corporations who can go in. Now, let's not get it conflated. Corporations are not going to raise 16.7 million acres of forest tomorrow. That takes a long time. But it's good to know that I think a lot of the policy that's coming is going to be more environmentally friendly. Uh, people get people also get it mixed up though. I think that policy is the one way to help the environment
Yep.
because there's not a lot of the plastic waste, that is really destroying our environment. These single-use plastics, plastic water bottles, all this stuff are going to keep being produced. You can put regulations on that. You can put regulations on emissions, but you can't take the technology back. We already have plastics. We already have gas cars. They're not going away now. So I think the biggest step towards cleaning the environment from an economic perspective is we need to get to these next technologies, the Tesla batteries, which will be really efficient energy wise, compostable plastics. So there's some called bioplastics. There's also plastics that are based off of sort of cornstarch that has some component of that, so it can break down more easily in a
Wow.
landfill. So those solutions are coming. They're right now a little more expensive than traditional plastics, and especially like restaurants, right, who use maybe plastic cutlery, takeout containers, cups, etc. That's tough right now because the price point's not competitive. Obviously, restaurants have had it super tough with COVID over the last 6 months. So, really, in my opinion, the solution to like the environmental crisis we have going on right now is by moving forward with technology. It's not necessarily through regulation to pull us back, but we have to actually get to the next level. How can we as a society make it economically efficient to use these cleaner technologies that are becoming more available every day?
Yeah, I agree. And I also think, at the core of me, it always comes down to personal responsibility. We're like,
Yeah, absolutely. Same here.
we could have all these policies in place, but if someone, is grabbing a slice at the local, supermarket or whatever at the local pizzeria and they get a Coke and, they're finished with the Coke, it's like, what are they going to do? That really falls upon, oh, like you just throw it away. You're going to throw it in recycling,
Yeah.
throw it in the trash. I think that at the core, local responsibility, local awareness is so important because I think it's going to start there and we need to start there. Sure, we can have all these policies, which is great. My next car dude's going to be a Tesla because it's one of these things
Yeah.
where I believe it's going to be an appreciating asset. You look at all these cars and it's depreciating. I think Tesla, I mean, the fact that
all the gas money you save.
Oh my God. Yeah. The gas mile, it's unbelievable. And then the fact that you're also upgrading the software, no matter the model of the car, is just like, that's unheard of. Like that's literally unheard of,
It's sick. I want a Tesla so bad. I mean, that is like a huge step. That kind of technology is what we need.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to wait a little bit because I'm in the midst of going to buy a property like Q1 or Q2 next year. So it's going to be a personal expense, probably like, hopefully by next year I can grab one of those things.
When it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's awesome, man. I mean, like you look at Casey Neistat with like that electric. I always forget what the hell that's called, but like his electric that skateboard he has. I forget.
Actually, not sure.
Yeah, he has one of these things. I mean, he's in New York City,
Yeah.
So, or I think he's in LA right now, but he moved. He was in New York City for the longest time, and like it's an electric skateboard. You have like a handheld thing. I've seen you and I have probably seen him around State College a million times, but when you're in the city, you don't necessarily need a car. So it's like,
exactly.
The thing about me, I'm always going to be in the city, whether it's business or life. So
yeah, of course,
great, man. It's fantastic. But yeah, like I said, I really admire what you're doing. I think that more people could definitely take from this. I think that it's very, very important in general. But I miss college though, man. Like I think, looking back on it, when I came from Altoona, obviously State was much more vibrant, more people, more girls, whatever. But dude, it's like looking back on it now, when I was working for Momentum, I was like, man, I gotta like, not go to the parties, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not gonna miss this stuff. I miss it. I'm a little nostalgic, for sure.
I know. And now I sit around like in my house on weekends just working, and it's like, what used to be. I'm happy to be out of it this year because I was actually at Penn State over Halloween. All the shirts for RGP came in, so a lot of people out there who are interested in the shirts was able to go out, watch a tough football game. It was good to be back, but it also wasn't the same. I think I would feel a lot worse in a way if we just graduated on normal terms and State was still going crazy on the weekends and football games and all that. That would have been tough to stomach sitting at home.
I know, dude. My neighbor, Alexis Petrakis, she is a freshman right now, right? So I feel so bad because like you look on Instagram, you look at TikTok and all this kind of stuff, and Twitter, and you have these freshmen like shaking their ass, like they're all these parties and stuff and just making it worse. It's like, oh my God. But I am glad, like you said, we got out because who knows what's going to happen. I mean, they're probably going to have another virtual graduation, I guess. But just for the simplicity of it, I much rather would be in person. How are they doing it now? Are they doing it in person or like, because I know there's a lot of online classes for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
There might be a couple in person.
There's a couple in-person classes, but pretty much everyone, I think, is online.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'm already online enough.
that turned my brain to mush for the last 7 weeks. I couldn't think straight.
Because it's like I'm home right now, right? I'm in my office, but I have my Xbox right there. So it's like I'm listening to some psychology lecture. I'm listening to, Econ 302. It's like that's going to be a snooze fest. I'm going to go play 2K for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, really? Like, I got to do this? Nah.
Yeah, dude. Screw that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, it's a nightmare right now. I'm happy to be out working on something. And you have the freedom, like taking classes, I always felt was kind of like useless unless there's a specific class that's like, oh, I'm going to use this skill. So I'm invested in this and I enjoy it. Like all the other BS classes requirements, it's like, why am I waiting? This is valuable time right now that I have,
Yeah, it's a dilemma that I've always faced where, like I told you, I wanted to be an engineer when I first got into school. But then as I started to really divulge into engineering and say, oh my God, fuck, do I no longer want to be, in engineering? I don't even know what I want to do. So I stumbled upon marketing, but it's like, it took college, it took these collegiate classes for me to really understand I don't want to do this. So it's like,
That is a huge value. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, if I held back and let's just say I graduated from Roman Catholic 2016, one of the best high schools in America, I would have not gone to college. It's like, who's to say I would have had that same mindset? Like maybe I would have stumbled upon something, but it's been great, man. I mean, the fact that we're crushing it right now at work and we're, I don't want to hype myself up too much, but it's great. I mean, just the fact of, I don't have some boss telling me, oh, Sean, you
Oh,
have to do this.
yeah,
1, 2, 3.
exactly.
It's like, I have the freedom to do whatever I want, make content like this, make YouTube videos, make, whatever I want. And I'm like, I'm literally a molder, just like,
Yeah.
around with some clay. And
Deciding your own schedule is the best. I mean, there's nothing like it. And I'm busy. I'm as busy as I've ever been. But when you're motivated to, have things scheduled like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. It's kind of a creative thing. How do I fit all this into one day? How do I get to this point by next week? I better be working, but it's exciting work and fulfilling work. It's not someone nagging you that has to be done perfect, some random project that literally is not going to matter in the long scheme of things.
yeah, it's not even work, man. I
Yeah,
wake up like
exactly. It's not even work.
happier than I've ever been, and I do my thing. Like I put in, X amount of hours, and I go to jiu-jitsu Muay Thai class and call it a wrap. That's it.
Yeah. Do a
It's,
little Muay Thai.
yeah, dude. I've been, bro. Muay Thai has kicked my ass.
Dude, I did it back in the day. It's tough.
It's so tough. Let
Yeah.
me tell you a story. So, you're familiar with like the story of like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, of like how it came about, right?
Not really. No.
So back in like the 1900s, right?
Yeah.
Helio Gracie, the grandfather, he's like, the grandmaster. He's the one who actually founded Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with his brother, right? So they created it, this, that, and the other thing. And the first black belts in America, and I shouldn't say in America, in Philadelphia, the Miglerese twins, Ricardo and Phil, they founded Balance Studios. If they have a location in Fishtown and Center City, so all over the, all over the city in Philly. And they came, and like I said, they were one of the first, black belts in jiu-jitsu in America. They came over with Muay Thai. So I was like, oh my God, this is a no fucking brainer. I'm going to go to Balance. And I hit Phil up 2 years ago. Say, hey man, like, love the studio. You should get a virtual tour. It just looked nice, new studio. You got to show it off. He's like, yeah, I don't know, man. We're just probably going to get some pictures. I'm like, all right, no worries. I see him, my first Muay Thai class. I'm like, I don't even have shin guards. I don't even have gloves.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, doing it. And, like you've done Muay Thai before, you hit the pads and kick it enough times, it hurts.
It does hurt. Exactly.
Perfect technique. It's like, oh my God, I need some padding on this. So he was trying to talk business with me, man, while I was throwing combinations. He's like, 1, 2. Oh yeah, what about that virtual tour? 3. I was like, what? I'm like, whoa, my mind's so scrambled right now. Like, stick to Muay Thai, like stick to the lesson. He was trying to do business while he was coaching me, saying, Sean, throw the left, throw the right, up kick. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do it right now. Fuck.
Too much going on at once. He was trying to get you into a hasty deal.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm like, do you want a tour for free? Because like you're busting my ass right now. I might as well give it to you. Shit.
Yeah.
But, training's nice, man. It kicks my ass every time, and I love
Keeps
it.
you in good shape. Yeah. I mean, you got to break a sweat every day. Like, otherwise, I feel like the stress builds up unless you get active somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and dude, that's the thing that sucks right now, because all the gyms, in New York especially, man, and all, Boston, all the East Coast, the saunas are closed. So normally I would get.
Dude, I miss the sauna so bad. It's ridiculous.
I was so hungover yesterday, like to the point where I was like contemplating like sneaking one of my stepdad's Xanaxes, because I was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack to the max.
Yeah.
That was so bad. But normally I would just go to the gym, get a nice sweat in, and then pop in the sauna for like 10, 15, get those heat shock proteins, and I'd feel instantly better. But
Yeah.
it's all about, Governor Wolf and Proto, which, listen, I understand, and I'm no medical expert, nor do I tend to be, but it's like, listen, if you have the mask on, and we can separate, where it's like, okay, as much as a lot of people would want to go in, instead of 10 people going in there, maybe 5 people go in there, still maintain 6 feet or whatever, and do that. I think that would be a much more feasible option, and try it out, try it out. But, COVID cases are higher than ever right now. So I guess,
I know.
that actually is not going to work.
That's what I was waiting on all summer. I had a little setup in my garage, but it was just not doing the trick. I had to get back to a real gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, I'm not really sure. the regulations obviously are letting up, but
Yeah.
COVID's still ramping up in the biggest way. I mean, Europe right now is they're about to shut down again. Well, Germany and what was it, Paris or France? I think they both were on lockdown last week, and they still are.
Yeah, I heard France definitely did.
Yeah, but it's tough, man. I mean, this whole virus is a pickle for all of us because it's like, oh, we can go to the bar, have fun, but it's like once you get it, it's like, fuck, this is real.
Yeah, exactly, dude. When I got home from Penn State the other weekend, I was like quarantining for a couple of days because like I don't want to get my family sick. Even if I wasn't so scared about catching it for myself, just a new, unique situation, not the kind of thing you want to have in the back of your mind. So it is what it is. I mean, hopefully this good vaccine news holds up and they can start getting doses out by 2021. Maybe life slowly gets back to normal. So we've
Yeah.
been in it for a better part of a year now. We can keep going.
Yeah, hopefully, right? And the thing that I really like about COVID, I always like to consider myself as an optimist in the fact that I'm always trying to, whatever the situation is, just look at the good. I think that
Yeah.
mindset is great, and I've calloused my mind to really think that way. So
Yeah, I spin zone everything into a good situation. It's
yeah, and
kind
you
of
have to do
necessary.
it. I mean, there's I'm very binary, man, and the fact of like I'll take okay, like I'm either the situation kind of sucks or this is good, but I'm always trying to lead to a positive thing. You know what I mean? But in general, COVID has opened up a lot of things. You don't got to go to the office, right?
Yeah,
You don't need to go to the office. That's number one. Number two, the whole transportation thing is like, with Uber in Philly, it's so much more expensive. So it's like you're trying to save money, and you're, getting Ubers, you're doing this, get a bike or walk.
yeah,
You don't need to necessarily, sure, if you're in a time crunch, do what you got to do. But it's just, and there's a million things I think that people could learn from, especially with COVID as time goes on.
yeah. I mean, COVID, I think gave me the opportunity to do this. I wouldn't have been biking every day in the summer, seeing trash on trails, if not for COVID. I probably would have just found a normal job and just started a normal job because that was my plan. I always knew I wanted to start a business. I didn't know I was going to do it right after I graduated, essentially. But the COVID situation kind of realized, no, like I have every excuse in the world right now to start a business. I don't have to worry about anything. No
Yeah.
expenses. Job market's tough. Like, so we'll see where it is in a couple of years, but I think this could be a blessing in disguise if you're able to capitalize and if you're able to buy in the stock market too, especially back in March. You got, I mean, you got to use opportunities of crisis to kind of catapult yourself forward because everyone can do equally well when times are good, but when times are bad, you got to separate yourself.
And I think to your point, this is approaching possibly one of the biggest, most advantageous investment opportunities in our lifetime. Where if we take advantage of it, man, we're going to be sitting
Exactly.
pretty well.
I
So,
wish I had more money to take advantage of it with. It's my one
dude, me too. I
problem.
know. Like I was throughout the past like 6 months, I've been trying to get a property, and it turns out when I was applying, they wouldn't count my 2018 income for
Oh,
whatever reason. I think it was because I was still working at that point I was a sophomore, so I was working at Adler Gym in Altoona, so they wouldn't necessarily count my income because I wasn't making enough. So I'm gonna have to wait till like February of next year because that's federally when you can take that the previous year and you can then count it. So 2020 and then 2019 would be those 2 years. So
yeah.
I mean, hopefully I can get a property. I want to house hack it. If I have 4 beds and the mortgage is what, like $2,000, I could say, hey, people pay me $800 a pop. That's $400 a month, $4,800 a year. So it's easy, and
Yeah.
I could do the next thing.
That's doable.
Yeah.
Property is something I don't have any immediate plans to get in it, but one day I definitely want to be in on that. Just a great way, passive cash flow. Don't really have to worry about it, especially if you find a smart property manager, a good property manager. There's a lot of opportunities there. Best
Yeah.
of luck.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It's easier than ever. It's easier than you think. I mean, sub 3% mortgages and 10-year tax abatement, 1-year
Yeah.
builder's guarantee. The only
Rates are
thing that
low. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it literally is free money. I had a message on LinkedIn from one of my buddies, Dave Markowitz, who he's all the way out in Cali, and he sent me a photo of like the 80s of like rock bottom rates, never been lower, and it's like 10%, 10, 11%. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is really free money. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think, and to your point, man, when you're in school, they're not teaching you proper finance with how to build good credit, how to apply for a
Yeah.
loan, how to increase your net worth, period. I think those skills are very valuable. And, school's meant for, the corporate ladder, not necessarily the entrepreneurial one. But you think they would, make, I mean, again, I haven't taken any high finance classes at Penn State. They probably did touch on that a little bit, but, as the saying goes, college really isn't necessarily the best for entrepreneurs. So,
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. A lot of the stuff, pretty much everything I learned about like network or net worth, assets, all that stuff, I pretty much learned on my own. Maybe there's classes that I didn't take that were available to learn more about those things, but you really just got to, I mean, there's so many great books out there, which is lucky for it, but you kind of have to learn that stuff on your own. And those skills at the end of the day, that's literally your bottom line.
Yeah.
If you want to know about that, that's a pretty important thing. You got to learn it yourself, I guess.
You got to start reading. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So with RGP, man, where do you want to take this thing? Like, where do you envision the future? What are you really looking to accomplish? Because in my mind, and I'm sure your mind too, and a lot of other people's minds, when you have a vision, you're not necessarily obsessed with the dollar signs attached to it, right? I think if you're
Yeah.
obsessed with dollar signs, it's more so, it's not going to be sustainable. If you're doing it for the money, you need that concrete vision of we're going to change people's lives, a more powerful vision than just dollar signs. So talk to me about that. Like, what are you really trying to do, man, with this?
So I guess I figured, and this is what I started RGP through, is like, I want to be able to work full time doing a positive service for the environment. So right now what that means to me is I go out, I clean the bags of trash. I make content about it, such as podcasts, such as I want to do a YouTube series coming soon where I'll clean some trash, but also try to spotlight on natural phenomena, like really cool stuff that people don't get to see every day, something like planet Earth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just cool content that will get people interested, engaged, really enjoying nature, get their eyes on the subject so that they think more consciously about how can I be sustainable? How can I protect this in their everyday lives? And then hopefully, and this is an economic problem to fix, but as I was saying about replacing single-use plastics, you familiar with 4Ocean?
No, I'm not.
They're this really cool company. What they do is they go to beaches in Haiti, I think down in maybe Indonesia or somewhere down there it started. They clean all this plastic and they make these bracelets out of plastic. I don't know, I got one somewhere. But they make it out of like this type of plastic, I think called PET, like Poland Springs bottle. I'm pretty sure it's that kind. They sell them, and for each one, they pledge to collect like a pound of trash from the ocean. So it's a business model where the more people buy these bracelets, the more they can clean. But what they say is that the best way to solve this, and they're right, is to just get plastics out of the supply chain. So I love to, be kind of also a sales site where people can go to get their plastic replacements for things. So instead of buying plastic garbage bags, you buy compostable. Instead of buying plastic straws, a company might be able to buy, I think there's these straws that are literally called plastic links, which are like, they function like plastic straws. They don't have the drawbacks of paper straws, but they're made of plastic, so they're more sustainable. So if we're able to get the prices down on this so that restaurants can take advantage of them, so basically the people who own these businesses who use a lot of these plastics can instead take advantage of this biodegradable substitute, that would go such a long way to getting single-use plastics out of the supply chain. And if you take them out of the supply chain, you do so much more than just cleaning trash from nature. It never gets there in the first place. It just completely, you've solved a huge problem. So the content is a lot of fun and gets eyeballs on it. I really like doing that. But long term, I would love to be able to cut plastics out of the supply chain. That would be sick. So we'll see.
And it definitely starts with, big government and big tech, all these really big things that rely on these kind of materials, but not necessarily are worried. Oh yeah, we need it. Like Bezos, he pledged, a couple bill for like a new stadium or something like that, like pledge.
Yeah.
But it's like, sure, that's a good reminder. I wish you'd spent $2 billion on something else that would really help. But like I said earlier, man, it really goes down to the personal responsibility, what you're doing with it. And it adds up over time. People don't want to say it adds up. It totally adds up, because at the end of the day, people are, the garbage men's picking up, thousands upon thousands. If you look, there's I know on Friday or Thursday, whenever they pick the trash up, there's thousands of garbage men out there. So that means you're picking up millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of, well, probably billions of people's trash. So it's like you need to facilitate it better. You need to have a better system, and that's awesome. I mean, so how can people with Four Ocean and really just like your brand like get involved? Like, because I know like you have the IG, you're launching YouTube, and then the podcast too. Like, where can people find you?
I mean, so I'm on IG right now. I have a YouTube channel, no videos uploaded yet, so that's coming. The podcast, obviously, which is on Spotify. I mean, you're on Anchor FM. They just apply you to all the places that it can get posted.
Yeah, man. So, and this is
Yeah,
something I was making a post about today with Podcorn, and they're like they were sponsored for like one episode, but I love shouting them out because they literally, dude, match you with sponsors. So like for you, obviously, you would want to work with organic foods or like things that are promoting the
yeah,
betterment of the
etc.
environment.
Yeah,
So they match you with, okay, what's your niche? What's your show? How many numbers are you getting? And you can upload all of this stuff to the show, and the dashboard matches you with a potential boatload of candidates, and you can
pretty
just
sick.
simply apply. You can set your rate, you can schedule, you can do all of these things. And once they check you out, you have to make an ad, and whether it's a pre-roll, topical discussion, or anything really, and then you send them the ad, and that's it, and and you get paid via PayPal same day. It's a wicked, brilliant company.
That's sick. You got to send that to me. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's free. It's free. They're not.
Yeah.
There's no membership. Let me show you right here. I'll go to my dashboard right now. I've made so I heard about these guys like 2 weeks ago, and I've already been working with. I've already worked with 7 companies, dude. So
Damn.
it's easy. It's really easy. I this is free money essentially. I mean, it is fantastic. So
Yeah, that's sick. That's a great option. And it's great. I mean, to be able to choose companies that have a product that's in line with your goals. I mean, it's like a win-win game in that way. Something I love about the business world is that there's so many, combined win situations, like win-win situations.
yeah,
You both people get stronger via the connection.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Mutual value is so important, and you got to help the little guy out. Like I was
Yeah,
struggling. You're going to find this out pretty soon, but you can actually record ads on Anchor. You could say, hey, listen to the podcast, sponsored
yeah,
by Anchor, and just off the, I think it's like $15 per, CPM. So cost per thousand, which it's like, I'm slowly growing it to that. But, what are you going to make? $2 an episode, 20
yeah,
cents an episode. It's like, these are concrete things. I was talking to one of the guys and with Podcorn, and they were saying, if you net like at least 100 views, you can ask for like $10, 10, $15. I'm like, that's easy. That's
yeah.
so
That's
easy.
not
I
bad at all.
literally could, I could fucking, what could I do? I could get high as shit. I could get drunk, and I could just talk by myself, and I get 100 things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's so easy. It's so simple. So yeah, man, I'll check it out. I'll send you it so you can check it out for sure.
yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man. But dude, this was some fun. I'm really glad and really grateful that you're doing this. I think that you spreading it to the people out there that really need to hear it, that are like, oh, climate change, blah, 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 or
Yeah.
that are just not taking care of the environment properly. I think that it goes a long way, man. So thank you for
Well,
that.
that's one last thing. If I could sneak it in, is people don't want to be beaten over the head with this message. If you beat people over the head with a message like, "Oh, you're gonna worry about the environment," they're gonna be like, screw off. Like, I don't care about that. But if you do it in a way that's engaging and people enjoy, that's when that'll make a difference. So that's what it's about. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that. It's been a good time.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's a good way to sell too. That not being too pushy, just showing off the value and stuff like that too. So
Exactly.
that's awesome, man. All right, bro. Well, we'll talk soon then.
All right. Hell yeah.
All right,
Peace.
peace, bro.